Hello everybody, I am Bayırma and this is my Tutoring Debrief presentation. The objectives of the lesson were being able to use present simple tense and the correct use of the third person singular inflection S in my two T's written and spoken speech. To reinforce the use of present simple tense was also one of my objectives, and being able to use present simple tense for future meaning, for expressing timetable and schedules was the main goal of the class. I had some successes and challenges during the class. First of all, I could identify my students' level of proficiency by conducting interview with her, and I could identify the strengths and weaknesses of my tutor, asking some questions, and according to my students' level of language proficiency, I managed to change some previously prepared activities and exercises into more challenging ones. And also explanation of present simple tense for future meaning went very successfully. After explanation, my student raised a question. She asked why she should use so many different types of future tenses, and explaining differences between future tenses was successful. And time management was one of my successes because I could complete the class on time, even though there were some needs to modify some activities and materials. Of course, I had some challenges, and modifying activities and exercises into more challenging ones for a short time was a real challenge to me, but I could do it using some previously used websites, and explaining differences between future tenses was one of challenges, because the main objective of my lesson was teaching present simple tense, not future tenses. And if I had spent much time on it, I could have diverted from my major goals of the lesson. So I explained the differences between future tenses using some precise examples in brief, and I promised my student to cover this grammar area next time. I started the new class with some warm-up activities. I used the idiom practice makes perfect as a warm-up activity. The sentence is in present simple tense. Also, the verb has third person singular S, and I think it was the ideal warm-up activity. The next warm-up activity was talking about daily activities. As I mentioned before, it was beneficial to me because I gathered information about the tutees' educational linguistic backgrounds. That I met my tutee for the first time just prior to the class. I had no information about her. I didn't know about her educational linguistic backgrounds. I didn't know about her strengths and weaknesses. Just through the interview, I could collect some information. And the talking also helped me to arrange the lesson. I could customize some activities according to my tutee's language level. And then the interview helped me to find out what areas to focus on during the class. As present simple tense was not new information to my student, we just reviewed present simple tense, and more concentration was on the use of third singular inflection s and also negative forms of present simple tense. Presentation of the new material, how to use present simple tense for future meaning, was very successful. I explained that we use present simple tense to talk about events in the future which are timetabled, and I provided some examples such as my plane leaves at 6 in the morning, the shop opens at 9:30, the sun rises in a minute earlier tomorrow, so. For practice of the new material, I tried to use more authentic items, materials. For instance, I used real bus timetable sheets. Also, I used some holiday timetable of some organizations. The authentic materials was so interesting to my student, and I think it would be more beneficial for her real language. Then we had another exercise. I made my student create conversations using present simple tense on given topics. Topics were the schedule of the flight, 4 seasons, and daily routine. The tutee could create some short conversations using present simple tense, and there were no mistake with the use of s inflection, and also some sentences were written in present simple tense for future meaning. And I think I could reach my goals of the lesson. For evaluation part, I summarized the learning outcomes of my student, and I gave some comments to her. Of course, I didn't forget to praise my student for her good job. Then I gave some homework. For homework, the student had to write a composition on the topic my daily routine. There would be 50 to 100 words. As a language teacher, I always think how to improve my classes next time in the future. Of course, I need some improvements. First, I should have collected some information about my student in advance prior to the class. If so, I could have prepared much more qualified materials for my student. The next time, if I have a class, I will prepare everything in advance ahead before the class. And I think teaching present simple tense for future meaning should be done after teaching future tenses, after teaching future simple tenses, because when my student asked how to use different types of future tenses, I couldn't spend much time on it. If present simple tense for future meaning was after teaching future simple tenses, I could have spent much more time on the explanation, and it would have been more beneficial for my tuti. So next time I will think about it. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.